on this pot, I'm going to be using olive oil because this is
That was aggressive. Because this is a church bell.
Ding, ding. Hey everyone, welcome back to Chef Tyler's Croatian Kitchen. Today we're making Jota. Jota is a traditional winter soup typically made with beans and sauerkraut. It has varieties all the way up and down the Croatian coast into Slovenia and even parts of Italy by Trieste. Actually, the first time I had proper Jota was in Ljubljana. The reason I say proper Jota because the Jota we're making today is my mother's version, which is not traditional. Traditionally, Jota has beans and sauerkraut as the base, and if you want, you can throw in some meat as well in addition to other vegetables. However, as a kid, I was not a big fan of beans nor sauerkraut, so my mom, in order to get me to eat this dish, she changed it up, and instead of beans, we're using barley, and instead of sauerkraut, we were using regular cabbage. Everything else on the ingredient list is the same. We have medium onion chopped, 1 carrot cut into semicircles, 4 cloves of garlic minced, and of course, for our spices, we have the Croatian Holy Trinity, salt, pepper, paprika, and any herbs of your choosing. I'm going with parsley, oregano, and rosemary. We'll be cooking in chicken stock. When I was younger, we used beef broth, but I had chicken yesterday, so I just made stock with that. You can use any other broth you like, or if you want to just use water, that's totally fine as well. So this is everything my mom would do. You can also add in some slices of bacon, like thicker pieces, pancetta, speck, and a kind of dried meat, kind of like what we did with sarma. You can also throw in potatoes, but since we're already using barley, I don't think potatoes and barley at the same time would be the best idea. If you are going with beans, the potatoes would add a nice bit of starch. We're also not going to make a roux for this because the starch from the barley will thicken the soup. If you think it's too thin at the end, you can of course add in a roux if you'd like, but I never found it necessary. And if you are using potatoes, you might not have to use a roux as well. So let's head on over to the stove to begin cooking. I'm using olive oil because we're doing a Dalmatian dish, and olive oil is very common down there. We actually have olive trees, and we make our own olive oil. Probably mentioned that before. This is not our own olive oil. We didn't have any olives last year. I don't know what happened, but my dad went to go pick them, and there was nothing. So with the oil coming up to temperature, we'll add in the onions and the carrots at the same time. And stir everything together to prevent it from burning. We want to cook for about 4 to 5 minutes until the vegetables have softened. So while you're stirring, and if you see some onions start to stick on the side here, just push them down back to the bottom of the pan so that they don't burn. And after the vegetables have softened, we'll add in our garlic. And after the garlic has come to temperature, we're going to add in our chicken stock. I'm using, we have 200 grams of barley, so I'm using 1 liter of chicken stock. While it's coming to a boil, I'll add in the barley. Stir the barley in together with everything else. And now we'll add in our seasonings. Salt, about say a tablespoon, pepper, also about a tablespoon, and then paprika, say about a heaping teaspoon. And now for the herbs, we're going to make our herb bouquet. We have 1 coffee filter. I'll add in rosemary, oregano, and some parsley. Give it a little shake to combine all the herbs, and fold once, fold twice, third time twist together, twine, tie around the top, ensure that it is closed, and then we'll add this into our pot. And also, can't forget the bay leaves. I'm gonna go 1, 2. The reason I'm not putting the bay leaves into the coffee filter is that these are easier to fish out at the end. So we're gonna let this come up to a boil, and once it comes to a boil, we'll turn the heat down to a simmer and put the top on. The cabbage we'll add about 20 minutes before it's done cooking. This should take about 45 minutes, so in 25 minutes we'll add the cabbage. So about 20 minutes before the cook time is up, we're going to add in the cabbage. This is about maybe 100 grams. We'll just add it right in. If it seems like too much, we take a little bit out. We'll just turn the heat up to get it back up to a more of a boil and stir the cabbage in. The cabbage takes about 20 minutes to cook, and we have 20 more minutes to go.
Try not to throw your spare cabbage at your camera operator.
Don't throw your spare cabbage at your camera operator. And after everything has finished cooking, bring it over to the counter so we can serve. Got my ladle and a bowl. Let's try to get as much as everything as I can. And here we have Jota. We've been smelling this for the past 45 minutes and it smells amazing, so I'm just gonna go right in and take our taste for granted. I can't wait any longer. I get some of the cabbage and barley all in one bite. It's just like I remember it when Mom would make it. The cabbage is tender, but still has a bit of a crunch. So it's not just turned to mush, which is why we added it in later. And the barley is nice and plump and very much full of flavor. I think the starch that it released while it was cooking too got the perfect amount of thickness into the soup. It's not too watery, but it's also not thick like a stew. Also off camera, I went and added in some more salt and pepper just for seasoning, because it did need a little bit more. And like I always say, you can add salt in later, you can't take it out. This is just childhood in a bowl, and it is amazing. Kaylin is very excited to eat. Also something that she can eat.
Yay. Finally.
So because of that, we're gonna hurry up and go and eat the rest of this because I can't just keep staring at it any longer. This was Jota do Bartek.
We are recording. Beans.